7 wins, 4 losses, and we've got a 63% hit rate right now. 2 more wins, guys, and we've got this in the bag. 57.1% hit rate. We're doing great. Hello, Wheel Masters, and welcome back to Mastering the Wheel. Today, we're on day 14 of our Bankroll Building Challenge, and we've got 13 consecutive wins behind us, hoping to make today a 14th win. So let's see what happens. Now, if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that I love to use my program BetMaster to help me with my game. But if you're new to the channel, that's what's up here on the screen is the program that I wrote called BetMaster. And this program has completely enhanced my game and changed the way I play roulette. Now, this program can do all kinds of really cool things, so stick around to the end and you'll see just exactly how I use this program to give me an advantage when it comes to playing roulette. Now, today we're going to be using one of my favorite systems I call Hottest 18. And what the program is going to be doing is tracking the wheel results and placing bets on the 18 most frequently hit numbers. And another thing it's going to be doing is we're going to be playing with a trigger I call system failure. And what that means is we're going to be waiting for the progression we're using today to actually fail first virtually before we start placing bets. And that's what the program is going to be doing. It's going to be tracking the wins and the losses, and as soon as the system fails virtually, it'll start placing the bets. Now, that's just one of 2 triggers that we're going to be using as an option today. It's going to kind of be whichever one comes first. So if the system fails first, then that's what's going to happen. But something else we're going to be doing is we're going to be paying attention to the heat of the wheel. And I found that besides system failing, there's also another statistically opportune moment to enter the game. And that's when, for whatever reason, sections of the wheel become hotter than usual. Like right now, if you look at the heat map, you'll see that there are 12 red numbers, and that's pretty average. Just about at any given time, you'll see that the heat map has 12 red numbers on it. And what I've found more often than not is when that heat map drops below 10, somewhere even close to 7 or 8, that's usually when my systems that are based on heat will fail. So I noted that. And then on the flip side, when that heat map is higher than average, say around 15 or 16 red numbers, typically higher than 13, but the higher seems to have a bigger success rate. So when those numbers, or when there's 15 or 16 red numbers on that heat map, and it's sustained that for a while, that's typically a really good time to jump in, get 14 wins, and then leave, clean. So we're going to be looking for that today. Basically, one of 2 things: the system to fail or the heat map to hit a hotter than average heat and have it sustained for a period of time. And if I notice that, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump in, I'm going to turn the system failure trigger off, and then have the program start placing bets automatically. So that's going to be how we play today. So let's see how it goes. Now, before we do get into the video, guys, if you haven't already, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button and the like button, it does help out the channel a great deal, and I do very much appreciate it. So thank you so much for that. Now, we're just about to get into it, but in order for the bets to be placed, of course, we're going to have to wait for these triggers, and this can take some time, sometimes minutes, sometimes hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up the video, and while the video is sped up, I'm going to put on a song from the BetMaster soundtrack. So enjoy the music, and as soon as the trigger fires, or as soon as the heat map is hot enough, I'm going to come right back and we'll play some roulette. All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Yeah. That I don't lie. We'll still spin, but I'm still in control. It's the wheel of steel, 37 in a circle. Most play emotion, I'm surgical, purposeful. They chase a streak, I track the sequence. Every single spin got a meaning in the frequency. Log it, watch it break it down clean. Red, black sectors in between. Dealer drop point, rotor speed slide by. Eyes in the rhythm when you watch it long enough. Right, short window variance, long window truth. Most lose bankroll, I collect the proof. Session defined, I don't cross that line. Know the fail rate before I ever press confirm. firm on mine. Probability windows, I operate tight. If the math says leave, then I'm gone that night. No ego at the table, that's a fatal mistake. I don't fight the wheel, I just study its way. Still spin free, but I'm playing with data. Bedmaster on the screen, now the odds look greater. Track every move, every deal of rotation. Starting in sessions with calculation. Still spin free. Knowledge my edge, not hope, not luck. Just numbers I pledge when the window is done. I'm done with the play. That's how you survive and get paid in this game. They say roulette random, yeah, mostly true. But randomness clusters when you zoom the view. Sector pressure build. Streets go cold. Hot doesn't rise and column overload. Dealer signature subtle but real. Same release point, same drop, same feel. If that pattern repeats in a measurable lane, you exploit the edge, not the casino's game. Coverage set, risk window known. Failure probability carved in stone. I know how many spins before danger grows, and when that threshold hits, I close. No tilt sessions, no endless grind. I define my exits before I begin to climb. When target small, reset the run. Let the rare event pass before the next one. Still spin free, but I'm playing with data. Bedmaster on the screen, now the odds look greater. Track every move, every deal of rotation. Starting in sessions with calculation. Still spin free. Knowledge my edge, not hope, not luck. Just numbers I pledge when the window is done. I'm done with the play. That's how you survive and get paid in this game. Exploit the bias, measure the drift, track the variance, that's the shift. From gambler to operator, from hope to estimator, from chasing spins to risk calibrator. You can't beat man, but you can respect it. Define your risk and then protect it. Every strategy dies if you overstay. Even the strongest one fades away. So I enter precise and I exit clean. No marathon sessions, chasing a dream. Spin by spin, I collect the data. Betmaster built for the calculator. Dealer bias, sector flow. Wheel or the stats, let the insight grow. This ain't superstition, a lucky charm. It's structure, discipline, keeping me calm. Wheel still spin, but I spin smarter. Data first, session over, edge preserved.
Okay guys, so here we are, and I've decided that I'm going to turn the trigger off. I've been watching the heat, and right now we're at 14 hot numbers. We were at 15 earlier, and it's hardly ever gone below 12 for a while, so it's really been sustaining heat. So I'm just going to jump in here, and we'll see what happens, but it looks like a good chance to jump in. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the trigger right now, and stop that from happening. And reset that. And there we go. Okay. And then right after the spin result, I'm just going to go ahead and turn off my custom clicks so that way we haven't got an auto page refresh happening either. And so the bets are about to be placed. There we go. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and turn off my my custom clicks. And turn that back. There we go. Okay, so let's see what happens. We've got our first set of bets on the table, and of course the first one's going to be a loss. That's all right. So level 2. So as I said earlier, this progression does have 7 levels, and I rarely go to the 7th level. Of course I have. In fact, I've lost with this progression. Losing is inevitable. But some of the techniques that I use when I play roulette really help me mitigate risk. And the system failure or coming in when the table is overactive seem to be really working well for me. So that's why I've been doing this. And I think the results speak for themselves. We've got 13 consecutive wins so far, and hoping to get a 14th, of course. But I don't know. Do you guys have a lot of sessions where you're able to play 13 or 14 consecutive sessions without a loss? Let me know in the comments if you guys are using systems that give you that kind of a streak. I'm always interested in hearing about systems that do well. The systems that I use, I try to apply math to my whole game, including how I build a system. And in fact, I wrote a couple of articles on this whole framework that I use and my whole approach to roulette. So if you guys are curious on how I build my systems and the philosophies that I use when I approach the game, you can go to my website at www.betmaster-data.com and check out the Roulette Lab, and you'll find some articles there. And I think applying the philosophies that I use, the techniques that I apply to this game, if you apply that to your game, I think you'll find that you end up losing less. And that's the whole point to the way I approach the game is I mitigate risk essentially, right? Because in spite of what the casino wants you to believe, that this is just a random game, although there's no arguing that it is. Of course, it is a random game, but there's so much more to the game than the fact that it's just random. This game is a game of pure math and probabilities. And by understanding that, I believe you can give yourself an edge if you know how to use that to your advantage. And I lay it all out in these articles on how I approach the game and use math and probabilities to my advantage. Today we didn't quite use the probability that I normally use. We tried to, but I felt that coming in at this hot section was just as good as any. And we came in that way. But when it comes to using probabilities to your advantage, like the system failure trigger, I mean, so this system has, like I said earlier, a 1 in 216 chance of failing. Now, of course, that's just on average. It could fail twice within 50 spins. In fact, it has failed twice within 50 spins, and that happens. But then it might go 500 spins without failing at all. So you'll just see over a large sample size of spins that the distribution of failures does work out to 1 in 216. It's no different with red or black, for example, right? Red or black have a 48.6% chance of appearing, but clearly they don't. When you look at the history bar, you can see that there's four black, 3 red, 2 black. So the distribution doesn't look like it's that even in a small sample size. But if you take 1,000 spins, you'll see that red and black did come out 48.6% of the time within a fraction of a percent of that. Just like clockwork, it's that accurate. And so our progressions are no different. And understanding the probability of your progression failing can be a huge advantage, because now you know on average how often your progression is going to fail, right? And it's rare that your progression would fail back to back, and that since that event is so rare, that means it's not going to happen all the time. Even though it's possible, it can and does happen, it doesn't happen all the time. If it did, then it wouldn't be a rare event, right? I'm sure you heard the expression, if something has a chance of happening, it will happen, or you can't beat the odds. Well, that's exactly true. You can't beat the odds. If something has an odd of happening, it's going to happen within, its expected probability. Not on cue. Like if something has a 1 in 500,000 chance of happening, it's not going to happen every 500,000, or in this case, 1 in 216. It's not going to happen every 1 in 216. But if we look at 5,000 spins, it did happen exactly that often. The distribution was random, but the probability still lined up. And that's the distinction. And understanding that, you can, like I said, use that to your advantage. How? Here's how I do it. I obviously don't stay for 216 spins. I stay for a fraction of that. So when I figure out what the risk profile of my strategy is, in this case 1 in 216, I take 20% of that. And that gives me a spin window to operate within, 40 spins. So that, coupled with a system failure, right? So if I wait for the progression to fail before I start playing, I've just entered the beginning of the probability cycle for that next failure, right? And so every spin I stay after the system failed, the risk increases for that system to fail again. Now, I know in roulette nothing is due, but I mean, we all know the longer you spend at the wheel, the higher the chances are that that wipeout run is going to come in and bite you in the butt, right? Whether it's a run of red or black, or in this case, cold numbers, eventually it's going to come. But if you understand roughly on average how often it comes, then you can say, okay, well, I'm going to stay a fraction of that. And chances are it's not going to happen in that small window, right? Chances are. I didn't say it's impossible, but chances are, right? So as soon as that system fails, you stay for a small window, in this case, 40 spins maximum, and then you leave. And the idea is to get your money before you hit that 40 spins. So we're going for 10%. I always go for 10%. And as soon as I hit that 10%, I leave. And with this system, I'll typically get my 10% somewhere between 20 and 25 spins on average. Now, I'm just going to take a quick break for a second, guys. I just wanted to point out we are winning. We're doing really well right now. So we've got, after this last one, I just noticed we won. We're at 7 wins, 4 losses. We're hitting at oh, I guess that one was, there it is. Okay, I just updated now. So 7 wins, 4 losses, and we've got a 63% hit rate right now. So we're doing extremely well. Extremely well. So yeah, and we've only got we only need to make 14 wins here. So back to what I was saying. When it comes to that window, you need to make your 10% and leave before that window comes. And if 40 spins comes before you make your 10%, then you just leave. And that's what I was saying. When it comes to this strategy at 25 spins, that's where I get my wins on average. If I go to 30 spins, that's still, in a safe limit. But once I start getting to that like 35th spin and I still haven't made my 10%, it's already taking a bit longer than it should. And things are clearly not going my way. I've probably seen level 5, level 6 a couple of times already in my progression. And, that's not good. I can do a lot better than that most times. So if I get to that 40th spin and I'm not at my 10%, then it's just time to leave. I'll walk away, and next session after the next trigger or tomorrow is another day, right? And that's part of the discipline. Only operate within your windows. Never put yourself at more risk than you need to, no matter what. And it's that kind of discipline that can help you keep your bankroll intact. Now, by mitigating your risk, you're simply going to lose less. I can't guarantee that you're going to be in profit all the time. I can't even, I can't, and there's no guarantee that you're going to win or completely not lose. That's absolutely impossible. There's no way that you can not lose. Losses are inevitable. But what I've learned by applying these techniques is you can absolutely mitigate risk and lose less. Okay, and that's kind of the overall point, I think. And when it comes to making money at roulette, I mean, it's great when things are working out well, but don't forget, those losses are coming no matter what, right? And so the way I play, I leave at 10%, right? And so with this strategy, I need to win 10 times in order to make my my bankroll. So right now, for example, if we win today, that'll be 14 consecutive wins. Now, if I take a loss, today, that means I didn't win 14. That means I would be up 3, right? So the amount that we're making on this bankroll is $25. So if I lose today, I'm going to be up $75. Okay. Right now I have almost 300, but that loss is going to take 228.60 out of my bank. So that means I'm only left with positive 3 sessions. Okay. So I have to win on average 10 sessions just to break even with the cost of me being here. Okay. So right now I'm playing with house money and it's great. And if I take a loss, no problem. I've still got 3 sessions in the bank. And that means just to keep those 3 sessions in the bank, I'm going to have to win 10 more times just to keep the 3 positive that I have right now. Okay. And then anything over and above that, if I can win, say, a 12 session run, then I lose, then that'll put me up positive 5. So I'll be up $125 for that total of over 20 sessions. Okay. And that's kind of how it works. You're always going to lose more than you make. It's almost impossible. Some of my longest runs, like my longest run is just over 40 consecutive wins. And before that, on average, I'm winning somewhere between 13 and 15, and we're getting close to 15 now. So again, not that anything is due, but I'm getting pretty close to due for a loss now. You know, and that said, I need to win basically at least 12 or 13 times before I take a loss, just to not, I don't want to say to make it worth my while. Like, I love playing roulette, but I don't like losing my money either, right? That's why I mitigate so much risk. But ultimately, I need to keep up this 13 to 1 win to loss ratio in order to make some kind of reasonable amount of money, because you're not going to eliminate your losses. It's completely impossible. So the best thing you can do is try to mitigate your risk so you can reduce your losses and hopefully keep some of your winnings. You'll never keep them all. That's impossible. If you make $50,000 playing roulette before your losses, after your losses, you're probably going to be left with something like $5,000 or $6,000. Okay, that's how it works out. So this is the reality of it. This is what people don't tell you. We all know that roulette is I wouldn't call it an impossible game to beat, but it's certainly not easy, and it's very easy to lose all your money very fast if you're not careful. And one thing that you have to know is that finding that next system is not going to be there's no system really that can help you win more. All systems are really, if you stay and play them long enough, they're all going to lose. Every system fails, even this one. If I didn't have the limits that I set on myself with this system, I would fail a lot more. It's what will keep you winning at roulette is structure around your system. Okay, there's not a whole lot of great systems out there, to be honest, but some mediocre systems can be made better with just the right structure, and that's really what it takes is structure. For example, in one of my articles, I wrote something about what I call the edge framework, and it basically lays out some limits you need to put on yourself when you're building progressions. For example, this progression has 7 levels. I would never go an 8th level, and that's because it doesn't make mathematical sense. If I go an 8th level, that means that I have to double the capital that I'm putting at risk. And with the current structure that I have, I would need to win, if I lost an 8th level, I would need to win 20 consecutive sessions in order to make my bankroll back. And 20 sessions is hard to win, okay? I mean, even on my best weeks, I typically don't win 20 sessions in a row. Like right now, I'm on a pretty good run. We're hopefully going to bag 14. And by the looks of those numbers, we're doing great. I need 2 more wins, guys, and we've got this in the bag. So we'll see what happens here, but it's looking very good. 57.1% hit rate. We're doing great. So I would never add an 8th level to this progression because it doesn't make mathematical sense. I'd have to win 20 sessions to get that money back, or I would have to double the amount of risk that I have, or double my stake to try to make it back in 10 sessions. So now I'm at even higher risk, and if I lose that, it's even more devastating. Do you see where I'm going? So that kind of structure, having a maximum depth, and the framework that I have laid out for building progressions goes through all of that. Like, for example, if I had a 24 number system, I would never have more than 5 levels. And I believe in quick recoveries. Like here, we're doing a martingale. So on 18 numbers, martingale works very nicely. Double your bet, 7 levels, you're done. 24 numbers, triple my bet, 5 levels, and I'm done. And these are just kind of general ways you can play. You can structure these a little bit differently depending on your, the system that you're using. This is just kind of a general idea. And so the last one would be like 12 numbers, 10 levels, Fibonacci, right? That's just kind of gives you an idea of how to structure them. But I would never go more than 10 levels on 12 numbers, never go more than 7 on 18, and never go more than 5 on 24. And that's because it just doesn't make mathematical sense. It becomes impossible to recover those losses. So just, guides like that. And then, of course, when to enter, when to leave. Those are crucial. And there are statistical opportune moments to enter the game. And it all comes down to understanding probability. And that's what my first article talks about. So definitely head over to the website, guys. Check those out. Again, it's www.betmaster-data.com at the Roulette Lab, and check out those articles. Definitely, if you apply those techniques, it'll definitely change your game. And another thing that really helps, of course, is using, Betmaster, because of the data that it gives you, the feedback that you get in real time, the heat maps, the system failure, all that, it all works together. I'm just trying to pass on what I've learned to you guys, and you guys, this is a great tool that you can use. So go check it out. Now, all that said, guys, by the looks of it, we've won. We hit our target, $25, no problem. And so look at that, 25 spins right on like clockwork, just like I said. I couldn't have scripted that better. It's that was pretty impressive. This is how it should go, right? If you pick the right moments, you should have a nice smooth ride right through. Now, I have to admit, it doesn't always go this way, but this was a great session to show you guys a good example of how it does go a lot of the time. Now, that said, guys, we're just going to call it a day. I hope you guys liked the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do really appreciate it, so thank you very much for that. And enjoy the rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
He wrote code in the dark, never planned to cash in. Just a mind full of math and a storm in his skin. Built a tool for the data, just a passion within. Till the wheel met the master and the master began. He ain't gamble, he engineered the win. Turned chaos to order with a stroke of the pen. He was never meant to play, but the software stepped in. Now the dealers fear the ghost he created from sin.